lesson 86, which is the review of lessons 71 and 72. Welcome to the Qigong support for A Course in Miracles students. I am Judith and you're at the Lucid Mind Center. First we're going to read the review of the two lessons together, which we are reviewing, and then we're going to contemplate it together, and at the end I'm going to suggest to you two different classes which you can apply the lessons to. The Course in Miracles is suggesting that you review the first lesson in the first half of the day and review the second lesson in the second half of the day. At the end I'm going to guide you to which Qigong classes are suitable to review the lessons of today. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel so more Course in Miracles students can find me. And at the end of this video and also at the end of the two classes, let me know how this has gone for you. Let's begin. Lesson 86, and these ideas are for review today. The first one belongs to lesson 71. Only God's plan for salvation will work. It is senseless for me to search widely about for salvation. I have seen it in many people and in many things, but when I reached for it, it was not there. I was mistaken about where it is. I was mistaken about what it is. I will undertake no more idle seeking. Only God's plan for salvation will work, and I will rejoice because His plan can never fail. These are some suggested forms for applying this idea specifically. God's plan for salvation will save me from my perception of this. This is no exception in God's plan for salvation. Let me perceive this only in the light of God's plan for salvation. So like I have said to you in the previous lessons, I suggest that you write down the idea and then add those three additional suggestions. How to apply the idea, and then start the Qigong class. And during the Qigong class, I'm going to prompt you to remember your lesson. I'm also going to prompt you to wait for your inspiration. And whatever inspiration comes to you, maybe it's a phrase or a vision or something, you add it to this particular list for the idea which you're going to apply today. This is if you're going to make a list. The second idea, which belongs to lesson 72, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Holding grievances is an attempt to prove that God's plan for salvation will not work. Yet only His plan will work. By holding grievances, I am therefore excluding my only hope of salvation from my awareness. I would no longer defeat my own best interest in this insane way. I would accept God's plan for salvation and be happy. Specific applications for this idea might be in these forms. I am choosing between misperception and salvation as I look at this. If I see grounds for grievances in this, I will not see the grounds for my own salvation. This calls for salvation, not attack. Just to remind you, the reason for our grief, the grief we have, is usually based because we are seeing ourselves as separate. So separation is our biggest problem, or is the only problem according to the Course in Miracles, according to lesson 71 when we were at it. So when you're doing those classes today, remember that the remedy for separation is to realize that you're not separated, to be not separate, in union with God, in union with the higher self, with the Creator, in union with everything what is really around you. It is just our perception which is making the appearance, which is making it appear to us as if things were separate. But as a matter of fact, it is an absolute amazing creation which we are allowed to witness, which we have got the privilege of witnessing within that body, and for such an incredibly long time it appears to us. So this is really the idea which I would like you to send you along today when you're doing your Qigong classes and also for the rest of the day. Remember that you are in union with the universe, in union with nature, in union with other people, and in union with this particular appearance which is like a tool for you to experience this human life. So I'm suggesting for you these 2 classes to apply for today's lesson. And here you have all the different classes which I have created for this particular review phase. Enjoy!